Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the previous session, I gave you an overview of what a Pega application is and how to log in into the Pega application using the administrator credentials. I also summarized the different capabilities or the different features that we can see on the Dev Studio, whereas I briefly also talked about the debugging tools like Clipboard, Tracer and Live UI. So today's session will be focused on creating a new application from the scratch. So we will be using the new application wizard and we'll be creating the new application. So I'll be doing a live session on how to create the new application. Okay, so let's get into the application. So if you can see my screen clearly, I'll be logging into Pega application using the administrator credentials. So if you remember the previous session, so I showed you how to create a new application. So from the application menu, there is an option called new application. So whenever you want to create the new application in Pega, so this is where you will start. Okay, so let's click on the new application menu. So over here you see different type of options available. So it is asking you what type of application do you want to build, right? So there are certain applications that I have already created in my personal edition. So those are also listing here. Now for the purpose of the demo, let's select this option, build from scratch. Okay, so whenever we are building a new application from scratch, so we'll be choosing this option, which is build from scratch. Okay, so once we select that, then it is asking us what type of experience do you want your application. So this is about the UI architecture. So basically, what kind of UI architecture would you like your new application to have? There are two options. So first one is Theme Cosmos and then is the Cosmos React. So Cosmos React is the latest architecture which is view based, and then this is the traditional Theme Cosmos based architecture. So let us select the traditional Theme Cosmos architecture. You can pick either of these based on your actual requirements. Okay, the next screen that we see over here is it is asking us for the name of the application. So I have just created a sample use case for which I'll be creating the application. So let me explain this use case for you. So I am planning to build a training application. So this application in Pega will allow the users or the students to enroll for different varieties of trainings. Once the students enroll in the training, so there will be trainers who will be given the responsibility to approve or reject the enrollments that has been made. Then the actual training will be conducted, and upon the completion of the training, certificates will be emailed to the students who have taken part in that particular training. So this is a simple use case that I can think of at present, and we will be doing our sessions based on this use case. Okay, so for creating the application, let us take the application name as the training application. Okay, so name of the application will be training. Now if you click on the advanced configuration, there are certain other parameters or features or options that we have to fill whenever we are building a new application. So let us go through each of these and try to explain what these are. So first thing is application structure. So the new application that you are building, is that going to be an implementation application or is that going to be a framework application? Now the difference between framework and implementation, I believe all of us know, but if I have to just explain it in a very simple terms, so any application that can be used independently without the need of having any framework, that we can consider as an implementation application or the production application. Okay, whereas a framework application can also be understood as a common layer or an enterprise layer or an org layer, where on top of which different multiple implementation layers can be built. Okay, so framework is basically, you can consider it as a reusable layer in which all the common rules can be placed, and then the application or the implementation applications built on top of framework can be able to reuse the rules from the framework layer. Okay, so in Pega there are different out of the box frameworks that Pega provides us. So if you want, you can use any of the OOTP frameworks also, or if you want, you can create your custom framework application also. So both are possible. For now we'll go with choosing the implementation application. So the application that we are going to build now will be a implementation application. So the default is implementation, we will leave it like that. Now application ID. So application ID is also the application name. So we have given training, that is why it is auto populated. The version is the application version. So since this is the first application that we are building and we have not done any increments on the version, so it will be 010101. Now if you go down and if you see the organization settings, so it is asking us for an organization name, division name and unit name. So I have already decided organization name. I'm going to use my organization name as Z Corp. Okay. Division and unit, I will leave it as is. I don't have a specific division in mind, but there are use cases wherein you have to build applications specific to a particular division. If that is the case, then you will be giving the specific division name over here. If you want to generate the division layer also as part of your application stack, you can select this checkbox. If not, you can leave it as a blank. Okay, and this would be your organization application in the work group name. So once we fill in all these details, we will just hit the save button and we will hit the create button. At this point, Pega generates variety of rules at backend that will support our newly created application. So once the application gets created, we will go back and we will see what are the rules that gets created as part of this new application wizard. Okay, so it says the training has been configured and is now ready to use. Optionally add users. Build better application as a team. So this particular screen that you see over here, right? From here, if you want to add a pre-configured operator ID to this particular newly created application, you can do that by using this particular wizard. For now, I will not be using this. I'll just do done. Okay, now it takes me back to the Pega platform application from where I have built the new application. So if I go to the records explorer and if I try to see the application that we just created, so if you see, this is our new application that we have just built. So training 010101, it is built on top of Team Cosmos because this is the UI architecture that we selected, if you remember. And then if you see over here under the application rule sets, so there are two implementation rule set and two org rule set that Pega creates by default. So every time you run the new application wizard, you will be able to see that there are two implementation rule sets, training integration, and then org rule set, Z Corp and Z Corp int. Okay, apart from that, Pega will also create access group and access rules, skin rule. All these things will be created by default whenever we run the new application wizard. Okay, if you see here, the skin rule is also created. There is a skin rule that Pega creates for us, and that will be built on top of. Since I am not logged in the application, so it is not opening the rules directly, so I am using the search bar. Okay, if you see, the access groups are also created, training authors, training users, the work queues are also created. Okay, and if you see the skin rule, this is the skin rule that I was talking about. So the skin rule is also created. So these are the rules that Pega creates at backend whenever we run the new application wizard. In the next session, I'll be talking about how to add operator IDs, access group, access roles, and a little bit on the security front. Okay, for today, this is all I have. Thank you so much for listening in. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop the questions to me over comments. Have a nice day. Thank you.